Time to talk some love, and Miss Flirt, our very happy, chirpy little thing, is on the phone right now. How are you?
Hello, how you guys going?
We're talking romance today, Miss Flirt. The difference what a guy and a girl perceive as a romantic night or romance in general. Are we miles apart?
You know what? Generally not. You know, there are a lot of things that guys and girls see as romantic that we both sexes like. But the biggest mistake that guys and girls make, especially women, I have to say, is that we kind of think, you know what I'd like? I'd love a romantic, the candles lit, the music on, and to chat into the early hours of the morning about how I feel. And then you assume that the other person wants that too, you know? And obviously that's where we kind of get it wrong. Because for some guys, you know, obviously perhaps most guys, the idea of chatting till 2 o'clock in the morning about how you feel is torture, not romance.
Yes.
I find from a guy point of view, our idea of a romantic evening is what we've been told what a romantic evening is.
Well, maybe, but, you know, and the interesting thing is we actually asked, when we were doing research for our book, we asked the guys, 750-odd guys what they found romantic. And it was really, really interesting what they said. For a lot of them, and for some of them were like, say what, you know? I mean, some of them were obvious, like they really like it when their partner dresses up in lingerie and walks around the house. That's romantic. Or comes and, you know, as they're washing the dishes, comes up behind them and cuddles them, you know, wearing practically nothing. Or, you know, obviously getting that long-lost favourite recipe from your mum, from their mother, and cooking it from scratch, you know, those sorts of things. But the big thing was, you know, we have to remember that girls really bond by talking and guys bond by doing things. So it was the girls who actually did something with their guy. Instead of talking all night, you know, we had one girl and the guy was so impressed because, you know, he wasn't a big fan of talking, as a lot of guys perhaps aren't. And so the rugby was on. She turned down the lights, turned up the rugby, bought him some beers all night, gave him massages, and didn't say a peep. And to him, that was the most romantic thing she'd ever done, you know?
Absolutely, and it's nice to hear the girls doing it instead of the guys doing it.
So I get that. Did you hear what he did for her in return?
I don't know. There was no. You know, it was his comment, so I don't think that he told us much. He probably didn't do anything in return.
But they had a good night by the sounds of things.
But yeah, but you know, and that's the thing. Or there was one girl, you know, who the guy said that, you know, he was really into rollerblading and she didn't do it because he lived in Melbourne on St Kilda Beach, and that's what you kind of do when you live down by the beach. Not that I do it. But one morning on a Sunday morning, she actually came up behind him and she was rollerblading because she'd been learning how to do it. So it's, you know, even if it's about, for girls, it's about, you know, going and trying to play cricket when you don't know how to do it, and it's just about trying to bond that way rather than talk your way through it. For guys, on the other hand, you know, it is really easy to make a girl melt. You know, hello, you just turn down the lights, cook us dinner, even if you can't cook. You know, I don't care.
Exactly.
Cook me a soup out of a can.
Hey, trust me, Miss Flirt. Trust me, when you look like me, the lights get turned down, mate. Don't worry. Candlelight makes me look gorgeous.
You're right, though. A lot of it's to do with the effort, and you recognise the everything that's behind the effort they're putting into it, and that equals love a lot of the time.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really endearing when you see somebody who can't cook to save themselves, or can't trying to iron your clothes, or anything like that. It's just like, it breaks your heart. It's so gorgeous, you know. You could just sit there and watch it all day. You know, perhaps when there's a bit of when my husband did that and he dropped the iron and burned a big hole in the carpet, but, you know, that wasn't so romantic, and he's been banned from it ever since, which was my stupid fault. But that's the thing, and it's the little things, you know, the little hand-picked flowers. I have to say, for guys, though, if you're just going to be a tight ass, or you're too lazy to buy something proper, you know, or special on your anniversary and birthday, do not just go to the server and get some flowers or a hand-picked flower, because then it's just not going to cut it, and that's no longer romantic. You're in big trouble.
All right, now I want to get a girl's opinion, all right? But Kim, Miss Flirt, here's my idea of a romantic night with Karen. I'm going to take her out to dinner and babysitter, all that sort of stuff, right? Get a stretch limo, order the stretch limo. Stretch limo pulls up. I open the door, and our 3-year-old boy BJ's in there with 2 glasses of champagne. Because from my point of view, the celebration of our love is that 3-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's cute.
Whereas a lot of people go, oh, you don't take the kid.
Tonight, though, is he?
Oh, no, I might nick him off a bit later, if you know what I mean. But, to me, that's ultimate in romance, is the fact that we're so proud of that little boy. He's part of the package rather than getting rid of the kid.
Yeah, but you know what? I think that at some point, before dinner you have to get rid of this child. Because, sorry, I'm now pregnant with my second child. I can tell you, if I thought I was going to a romantic dinner and then my 2-year-old was in the limo, I'd be like, oh, God, no! Take him away!
Oh, no, he'd be taken straight out. Oh, yeah, mate, he's not come to dinner. I'm not going to pay for his meal as well.
I'm going to say, hello, no, that's not romantic. You're in for trouble. That sounds beautiful. And you know what? She'll just cry. She'll be like... and then she'll be putty in your hands and you can do whatever you like for the rest of the night.
I so know. Thank you. Thank you for the support, girls.
Don't give him a big head, please.
Oh, look, Nicole, I hope she's not listening.
Is that on tomorrow night?
But you know what, as well, especially for guys, if you are going to take the one you're with out for dinner, the most important thing you can do is actually make an effort and really dress up. Because a lot of guys, like, I still take my husband out for dinner and he still wears his jeans and, daggy top. And I'm like, hello, I'm dressed up here. Make an effort. It's really important to actually dress up and look like, wow, for us women to see the one you're with actually put on, and actually go to a great amount of effort that they probably wouldn't normally do. It's kind of nice. So it's really important.
Okay, so note to self, if I'm doing the whole thing, I've got to give my Converses a bit of a clean.
And lose the trackies.
Yeah, lose the trackies.
Trackies, yeah. Brush the hair, put a bit of jelly on or something.
Miss Flirt, always love your tips. We'll talk to you soon.
Have a great day. Bye.
howtogettheoneyouwant.com. Jump on there. Grab the book. Great read. It'll give you a lot of tips on how to be the romantic, as Miss Flirt just told you. Come on.